Good evening, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen across the world. It's Coach Don. Welcome to Coach Don Reacts, where we react to pop culture, sports, music, and everything else in between. Today, we're gonna react to the end of the Dallas Mavericks season, a long season, full of some ups and more downs, and just gonna talk about how long of a season it was, man. It was a long season. So yesterday was our play-in game. We lost 120 to 106. And to be honest, I'm just glad the season's over, man. We go to the finals last year, and all the fans, we have high hopes and dreams and aspirations of making it back to the finals. You know, you got Luka, you got Kyrie, PJ, Twin Towers, you know, all the guys. You add Clay in the off season, and everybody thinking like this is exactly what we need. We had DJJ last year, which was a great defender, and he just in the finals. Everybody wanted to blame it on the lack of defense, but it really was just we just couldn't make shots and try to make shots, and Luke and Kyrie getting guys open, spoon feeding, they just missing wide open shots. PJ and Derrick Jones Jr., they just couldn't make shots. And so coming into this season, the Mavericks signing Klay Thompson was one of the players that I've been wanting for Luka for the last 3 seasons at least, you know, knowing that he was on his way out in Golden State. So coming in the season, you know, you thinking like, man, we got Klay. We coming off a finals run, which was unexpected, which we was the 5th seed, I believe, last year, and made our way to the final. But you knew watching the game that the Mavericks matched up with everybody, except the Boston Celtics. They matched up with everybody in the West. So we knew coming this season it was the same thing, especially adding Klay Thompson. You just knew we matched up to everybody. And so we come into the season, and you know all our hopes are high, and you know you go through first couple months of the season, and we got injuries. As we done the same thing last year, we had a lot of injuries at the beginning of the season, and this year was really Luka and missing games, Kyrie missing games, and Twin Towers missing games. Lively and Gafford, you know, and PJ missing games, just spinning, and you know, so but we knew by the end of the season that all things equal, we come in healthy, that we probably going back to the finals, you know. So fast forward to when the trade happened, I'm just sitting watching TV, and then people texting me and tagging me, messaging me like, you see what's going on, and telling me Luke got traded. But people been saying Luke gonna get traded. Luke was leaving for a year, so I don't pay no mind. So I'm looking, and then it said Shams had tweeted it. So I was like, well, Shams tweeted, my heart instantly just sunk. I ain't gonna lie, like I'm like, why would they trade him? You know what I'm saying? So you trading a generational player, probably a top 20 at worst. His trajectory going, the top 20 at worst player. And then you trading him, and you getting Anthony Davis back, which Anthony Davis is a great player. Anthony Davis probably a top 10 player. Like right now, when all things equal, when he's healthy, he's probably a top 10 player. But it's different. All top 10 players ain't made equal. Luka a top 10 player, and AD a top 10 player, it ain't made equal. Cause Luka is a man, like he's a leader of men, like he can make people better, and he's ready for those moments. Not saying AD's not, but AD just not. He's not a Batman, you know. He's a real top notch, like A1 1A Robin, you know. He needs a LeBron. He needs a Luka. He needs a player like that to lead him, to help him lead a team. And he had 40 last night, but you knew from the start that we was gonna lose. I don't care if he had 60. We just knew we was gonna lose just because really we just needed to lose. Like, you don't want to go to the playoffs and get swept by OKC Thunder. Like, that's because that's what's gonna happen, because we just don't have enough firepower at the guard position. We don't have enough scoring. You take away Luka, you take away 30 points on a regular, and then you add 10 assists. That's another 20 to 30 points. So he getting 60 points a night just by itself. He getting the team 60 points. So you take that away, we just don't have it. You got Kyrie getting hurt, and prayers to Kyrie. We hope he come back strong and ready to play. I've been a Mavs fan since 1988, so I ain't gonna never stop being a Mavericks fan. But it's just like the Cowboys. It's just like, I can't give y'all my money. Like, y'all ain't trying to win, so why I'm giving y'all my money? Why I'm coming to the games, and why I'm buying jerseys and all this if y'all not trying to win? So, and people that know me, they know how big of a Cowboy and a Mavericks fan I am. Like I used to argue over the Cowboys and the Mavericks, but I don't have the time and the energy no more, just because they don't care. If you don't care, I don't care, type thing. But I'm still a fan, because I was a fan before they bought the new owners bought the team. I was a fan before Mark Cuban bought the team. So I was a fan before Luka came. I'm gonna be a fan after Luka came. But my point is, why trade him? Why? Like, it's no point. You make it as he's overweight. He don't work hard. He don't have a work ethic. And players like Jordan and Kobe and blah blah blah. Do you name Shaq, who is historically known not to be a hard worker out and to be overweight? He won, but he wasn't the hard worker like the Kobe's and the Jordans that Patrick Dumont named. And we just threw away 10 years to be a contender. Even if we're a contender for the next 3 years, I still rather be a contender for the next 10 than the next 3, because I believe that with healthy Kyrie, healthy AD, it's gonna be one of the best teams in the Western Conference. But you threw away being one of the best teams for the next 10 to 12 years, only to be one of the best teams for the next 2 or 3 years. Kyrie's in his mid-30s. AD approaching, or he's almost in his mid-30s. So just don't have none. So next year, I'm sure Nico, if they don't fire him, he gonna try as hard as a trade for a big name, probably Kevin Durant, and we'll see how that go, because Kevin Durant is one of the greatest, all-time great generational player, but he just, it just ain't wherever. You can somehow get Cooper Flag, and if I would have the option to get Kevin Durant or Cooper Flag, I'm getting Cooper Flag, because the same reason I didn't want to trade Luka. This is because not that he's better than KD, it's just he's gonna be better than the next 10 years than KD. KD's gonna probably be retired in the next 10 years, so he's gonna be better than KD for the next 10 years. It's about the future. You want to build an arena, like the fans want. You build arenas off of names. Like we build the reunion. I mean, we build American Airlines and off of Dirk, and off the big names the stars had. You build it off a name. You don't have no name. You want to build an arena in 2032, but they saying they building off of Kyrie's name, but Kyrie's not gonna be here in 2032. So who name you gonna build it off of? You know what I'm saying? So this season been long. Like, it feel like this season was never. It was just injury after injury. I've never seen a season like this. And going into the Cowboys off season, around DFW, Jerry Jones was looked at one of the worst front office people ever. and Nico was looked at. When he traded for Kyrie, people didn't like it. Really just because Kyrie and his past and what people thought about him. What his reputation was, which I never believed none of it. And then you got when he traded for P.J. Washington and Daniel Gafford. People didn't know how they would work out, and it worked out well, but they made it to the finals. But you went from one of the most beloved general managers or front office people to, like, you took over Jerry Jones as being one of the most hated. I never in 1,000 years would have thought Jerry Jones would be ahead of Nico Harrison in hatred from fans. Like, I never would have thought that, never would have dreamed that. But when you trade Luka Doncic, a player that's like a generational talent, and I everybody see me that follow me on social media, they know I've been talking about this, but I was just waiting for the season to be over, just see, how it worked out, and which I knew how it was gonna work out. I knew how it was gonna finish, that we was gonna be out the playoff. We're gonna go from finals appearance to out the playoffs. To not making the playoff, just because you traded for a player that was hurt when you traded him, that's always been hurt. So he missing the 25 games, I believe, and it wasn't gonna happen. Next year I'm pretty sure they'll be better. They'll be a lot better as long as they stay healthy, but that's a big if. But I said a couple of days ago we lose to Memphis, and I think ultimately the NBA has something to do with Luka being traded. Like, they wanted to. Adam Silver say, I can't overturn the trade, but we done seen trades be overturned, before. Which I know the Chris Paul trade to the Lakers, that was one that everybody would point at, and David Stern was technically the owner of New Orleans, so the New Orleans Hornets. So he technically was an owner, and he was a commissioner because they was in between owners. So he had the right to do it, to overturn it. But the NBA has something to do with it, I believe, because the viewership is falling just because, and I don't think it's really because of people say it's because of play on the field, because on the court, and because it's playing soft, but it's really because it's all the games are so spread out. They got game on the Max app, you got games on NBA TV, you got games on here, you got games here, and none of the games are free but on the weekend. So I'm watching that Denver Lakers game now. It's going down to the wire, but anyway, you go to the Clippers. You go to the I can't forget my plan. Oh, you go to the they go to HBO Max. They go to ESPN. Got games everywhere. So, and none of them are free besides like the ones they have on Sundays and stuff. But you lose viewership, and you trying to get the Lakers. The Lakers and LeBron gonna bring viewership up, and so I think they had something to do with getting Luka to LA, where Luka, a big star. He's built for that Laker limelight, because that boy, he want all the smoke. He want every bit of the smoke. He want it all, and he's made for the big time. And I know Dallas is a smaller market compared to LA. It's probably top 5, top 6 market, but it's a small market compared to LA. Only New York and probably Chicago gonna match market size when it comes to sports. But the NBA has something to do with it, and Nico, he the face of it, and I think in his heart of hearts he probably would never traded Luka without. But hey, you want to be the face of it, you making the millions of dollars from it, so you gonna get all the hate from it. So it is what it is. And so I think with us doing the NBA, with the Mavericks doing NBA their favor, the NBA should do Dallas a favor and give them the #1 pick. They done done it before. You heard LeBron James say that what was the odds of him going to Cleveland, his hometown, hometown area, and they wasn't like they didn't have a higher percentage of getting the #1 pick, and he basically saying like they gave Cleveland the #1 pick, so it's time for them to give Dallas a #1 pick so we can get Cooper Flag here, because I think Cooper Flag is gonna be one of those ones, even though a lot of people didn't think Luka was gonna be one of those ones, nobody really, even me, like I wasn't really following Luka when he was in Europe because I don't pay attention to Euro basketball. They don't come on in Texas, so it didn't cross my timeline. So, but as the draft got closer, we started seeing more and more of Luka Doncic's highlights and everything. So I saw in probably a month, I had started looking into him because I knew Dallas was one of the ones that were looking for him. So I would just, like I do anytime, but just do research and look at him. But I always thought he was a cool player, Euro player. Just, Dirk, my favorite player of all time. So he a Euro player. So I know we had a good track record with European players. But back to Cooper Flag, I think he gonna be one of them ones, man. I think he got it, and he 17, 18 on that big stage at Duke, and he showed up. They lost, and I wasn't mad they lost because I ain't no Duke fan, but they showed up and they played hard, and he showed up and he played hard, and he's out there cooking. He was cooking, like. So I was surprised to see that how well he played in the tournament and on those big stages, because I hadn't really seen but highlights of him on social media. But yeah, Dallas, we in a wild place, man, because if they don't get Cooper Flag or somebody big for the future in this draft, we don't have draft picks for the next 5 or 6 years, first round draft picks. So it's gonna be back to those days where Mark Cuban was leaving the cupboard bare so he can get a Dwight Howard or Chris Paul. Though everybody that's Mavericks fan, they remember those days where we were striking out on all the big free agents, and we was always looking for the next big to sign a big free agent, and we never did. I mean, by the grace of God, you got Luka Doncic, you trading him away, But Nico wasn't here with those days, Like Drake said, he wasn't with us shooting in the gym. Like, he wasn't here with those days where we couldn't get nobody. We just had Dirk for 20 years, and after he got old and was on his way to retire, we never, we never knew what was coming in the future. Then we get Luka Doncic, and that first couple of games, you knew that we had one. You got a generational talent, and when people say generational, they like one in the generation, but you have more than one in generation. But he's one of those. When I say generation talent, I mean one of those ones that's gonna be top 20 all time when he's retired. You know what I'm saying? And we just gave him away. I ain't gonna say for nothing because it's AD. Like I said, AD is an all-time great, but it was for nothing because you don't get. Supposed to get Austin Reeves, supposed to get all these guys, you know what I'm saying? But it's neither here nor there. That's over. It's once I had started getting past it. Once the time went on, and then when he came back and played us a few weeks ago, all the feelings came back because you just never thought that you would see him play against you. You know what I'm saying? Being a American fan, I thought he gonna be cooking for us forever. Even if we not winning championship, we just know that we gonna be one of those teams that's got a chance to win because you got a generation talent. But it is what it is at this point. It's gone, and all the fans be hoping that he coming back. That's over and done with. He ain't coming back. But we just gotta. NBA, man, I gotta do is that solid. You gotta get that first round, that first overall pick. It's time, man. We gotta do what we gotta do You know what I'm saying? And we gotta make sure that we set up, because this move made the NBA a lot of money. You know, this move made the NBA got a lot of eyes on the NBA, because now everybody want to see how Luka and LeBron gonna do in the finals. Everybody gonna see all the pressure on Luka. Everybody want to see how he gonna do in in these playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So everybody gonna be watching. They gonna have the most viewed, most watched game ever. When that first game they play in the playoffs, I think they play tomorrow, and it's gonna be one of the most viewed games. You know what I'm saying? So, but as far as the Dallas Mavericks, like, that's my squad, man. I'm still mad, and I ain't mad if they fire they fire nigga. I never want a man lose his job, so I ain't never rooting for a man. You know, I make jokes and stuff, but I ain't never rooting for a man lose his job. He got a family, he a black man, you know, and we don't get those type of opportunities, those positions. We don't get put in those positions a lot, you know what I'm saying? So we got to make the best of it. I don't want the man to lose his job, you know, anything bad to come to him, but he gonna always get them jokes, you know what I'm saying? That's just me. I'm always getting them jokes. So, but I'm just looking forward to see what happens in the next couple of months. I think the draft is in June or July, and the draft lottery should be right after the finals or like during the finals, and we'll see what pick we got. But it's a lot of good players. So hope we get at least a top 5 pick and get us a wing that can score, because that's what we need. Because I think PJ gone, which I wouldn't mind trading PJ, Jaden Hardy, and the White Pal and somebody else for Kevin Durant, you know what I'm saying? And then hopefully we still get to keep that top 5 pick and top 10 pick, and we get another young wing to come in here that can carry us into when Kyrie gone and when AD's gone, you know. And I like Brandon Williams. I think he's gonna be a real hooper for us. I think he's gonna be a starting guard for us once Kyrie is retired or leaves or whatever is gonna happen. You know, I think he's gonna be a real hooper. So I think Dallas, they got a chance to put themselves in a good position for a future. But you know, it's just gonna be hard fans to get over. And people always, you see on all these sports shows, like what it's gonna take, like what's gonna take to make Dallas fans happy or the fans happy, whatever. It's nothing gonna make people happy about it. You know, you can make people like cheer for the team. You can make people like, you know, not feel as bad, but nothing gonna change the feeling they had on that day when nothing gonna change that. Like, so there's no reason to ask that. There's no reason to think you can. Like, nothing Nico can do, nothing Patrick DeMont can do, none of them can do, you know, to change how people feel. And they gonna feel how they feel, and that's it. Like, you can't change it, because Luka was our next Dirk Nowitzki, so ain't nothing you can do, you know, to change it, you know what I'm saying? But we got a big off season coming up, and hopefully the tables turn, the tide turn, and get us back to, because it ain't. You can say what you want. It's nothing like having your favorite team being in action in the playoffs. It's nothing like that. Whether you in the 8th seed or the 1st seed, like, it's nothing like having your team in that playoff action every season, year in, year out. You know what I'm saying? And when we had Luka, year in, year out, yeah, we missed one year when they was injured and they was tanking the year Kyrie came. But every year we in that playoffs, big moments in that playoffs, you know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing like having the team in that playoffs. And, you know, the playoffs so far been good. You know, I'm gonna put a video out of, you know, how I feel after this weekend playoffs over, these first games. I'm try to put out a video how I feel they win, and who I think gonna win the series and next round's matchup, and who I see making the finals. So I appreciate anybody that watched this, anybody that viewed, anybody like, put a thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Coach Don Reacts, TikTok, Coach Don Reacts.